Good stuff. A close game, 58-54. Jazz down, obviously, against the Timberwolves, as they do tend to be as of late. But overall, not a terrible game to watch, if I'm being quite honest. There's a couple weird, rough spots this game so far. Chase, what's up, man? First one to pop in. How are you feeling about the game? Tiago, yes, sir. What's more interesting, Fontecchio being 5 of 9 from the field or John Collins being 1 of 7? Tyson, what's up, man? I'd probably say uh, John Collins, honestly. Yeah, yeah. We do have a tendency, for some odd reason, to be terrible against certain teams, but better against a lot of others. So, with that in mind, I am appreciative of this game. Yeah, yeah. The offense could definitely tighten up a lot. I mean, it's been like a slow hill downwards, but overall, considering we don't have two of our top two scorers for this team in the game, yeah, like what Tiago said, without our top two scorers in the game, we're still being pretty proficient overall, if I do say so myself, and I do. But I don't hate it. I do not hate it. Let me see something. I'm trying to pull up these stats off to the side so that I have a rough picture of everything. Oh yeah, another caveat. Colin Sexton was pretty solid in the minutes he played. He played exactly 9 minutes, 1 and 2 from the field. All hit all 5 of his free throws, 3 assists, no turnovers. That's solid metrics from him, honestly, especially without him starting. No one shows. Yes, sir. Glad to have you pop your head in, though, Chase. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. 100%. Enjoy, sir. All right, Loki. Mike Conley reminding us how much we miss him. Yes, sir. I'll see you, Chase. We appreciate all that you do. Um, wow. That's bad. That's actually terrible. It's like every time I compliment them, they just decide the stock is going down. I don't like it at all. I'll back up after the game. For sure, Tiago. For sure, for sure, for sure. Oh, dang. Leaded Nevada. Didn't catch you, buddy. That's your first time commenting in the stream ever? What's up, man? You said Kessler is our second best player. At his peak, yeah. I would second best, probably not second most skilled, but second most valuable. Most valuable, yeah. Second most valuable. Everything aside, This just isn't the most ideal third quarter start to any game, honestly. Being outscored like this right out the gate. Overall, I don't. Well, I do kind of hate our shooting. Never mind. Things kind. It's one of those games where like the shooting, because the score was closer, it felt a lot better than it actually was. We're actually shooting 37% from the floor and 31% from three. Definitely thought we were closer to 34% from three, but I was wrong. Sexton with a fall away is crazy. Sexton kick out Fontecchio for three. Oh God, that airball was sad. Mm. Conley missing going to the free throw line. What's up, Logic? How's it going, man? How are we feeling? How are you feeling about this game? I think I speak for everybody when I say we felt better at halftime than we do now. Um, because this wasn't what we were hoping for. But here we are. You know, here we are. Yeah. Down two was acceptable. Now the second quarter wasn't as good looking as the first quarter, obviously, but it was still a manageable situation. This is not as manageable. All right. We'll see if Keontae can create and generate the offense himself. He's currently 4 of 13 from the field, so I don't know how reliable that's going to be. There we go. Fantecchio, nice little dime. Side note, Fantecchio has 4 assists, which I love. Um, it's one of the things where you don't really expect it until it happens, and it happened. So I'm appreciative of that. Keontae misses another one. Conley is just paying us back. What is he right now? 3 of 6 from the field, 3 of 6 from three. To go along with 2 assists, that's 11 points. 11.6 assists, only 1 turnover. So he's really put on a clinic right now. Conley with the board. Hola, key. Anna. 16 though. Poor transition defense. Poor interior defense. If it's not Walker Kessler, everybody's getting a bucket fed to them. Even Walker's struggling, honestly. But that's something that we kind of expected. And we'll go from there. No, she can't. Oh yeah, good, Tatum. For sure, for sure, for sure. So hey, I'm away from my phone right now. I'll be here during commercials. Yeah. No, I definitely got you. Yep. This is a interesting one, put mildly. You said, but seriously, how don't you get paid so much money to turn it over so much? I'm not even expecting a win, but seriously, take care of the ball. Yeah, yeah. And it's careless turnovers. It's not even like bad ones. It's just like, for example, that one dribble handoff between who was it, Collins and Abaji just like the ball is right in his lap and he just drops it on the ground. It goes in between his legs and gets picked up, and they go down and get a dump off to Karl Anthony Towns for a slam. Bad basketball. Point blank. Period. No excuse for it. Um, 13 turnovers already. Obviously, there's still time left in this one to change things around, but there's also time to make it a season high in turnovers as well. So we're not that far away. THT in the game now, so this is a little bit more interesting. Hmm. I like Walker having that action against Gobert. I love it actually. Because one of those things where it's like you really want to see how strong the comparison is between the two. Yeah, that is a foul. Any other key things anybody seeing from them today so far this game at least that I may not have picked up on or that I may have picked on and just not have addressed yet? Goodness. Calling a guy slow mo is insane. Gobert's literally Gobert's fighting on the glass for his life right now. Down 15, 74, 59. Really? If you're a Jazz fan, the game's closer than it was last time. If I remember last time they lost by like 20, 24ish. So it's not as egregious. That being said, it's not good. That being said, it's not good. Rudy Gobert really hit both of his free throws. I mean, I never thought he was a terrible free throw shooter, but I definitely thought he was closer to like 60% than 80. So him hitting both was a surprise. Ah, Olenek tried it. That wasn't a wild shot. That was just it just didn't go in. Hoop Fest, you said it's getting hard for me to watch on my own team. You're not the only one, buddy. You are not the only one. And the worst part is like it's not just bad play. Ew. It's not just like it's not just an objectively bad game. It's because the mistakes that they make and the reason why the team's down as much as it is because of simple miscues. That's the worst part of it. Because like a lot of the turnovers that they're having aren't insane. You said it. At least I know we're going through the worst of it now right now. Yeah. It's a roller coaster of emotions, which is the craziest part. Like we're not just objectively terrible all the time. Like the team gives you hope that tonight might be the night where they have all their stuff together and they show you. And then wait, no, we lied. First quarter, oh yeah, things look really good. We're really competitive. We're really showing up. Second quarter, third quarter comes in, oh, it's over. One of those kind of things. Keep getting the mismatch cap on Collins. Yeah, and we're not exploiting it. And we're not exploiting it, which is a bigger problem. No, I got what you meant. First, I know what you got. I got what you meant. You said we have a good 1.5 quarters a game. Yeah. That being said, Rudy Gobert has been on a tear this year. I don't know what happened between last season and this season, but he's a totally different animal. Not to say he was terrible last season, but even from a defensive standpoint, he wasn't as good as he typically has been known to be with the Jazz. So the fact that he's being as efficient as he is this time, 2.3 blocks a game for him, sounds about right. This is difficult. He said, "Can't wait till the trade deadline." I'd agree with you. I would definitely agree with you because it's a lot. It's a lot, but something has to change, right? Something has to change. You said it's going to tell the direction that we're trying to go. Yeah, absolutely. And really, once we get to that 40 game mark, we'll really know the identity of this team. Because right now, they're still shuffling so many pieces around. That's a kick, no? My goodness. If you're going to turn the ball over, turn it over and let it be out of bounds. Night guy, what's up, man? Well, yeah, your reaction is the same as mine. You said this for you. You're foolish. Is this draft tank worthy? I know we're trying to win. Just saying. No. From my understanding, somebody actually asked me to do like a draft recap, but right now there's not a whole lot of talent in the draft, like star wise. There's quite a few players that people think could be like role player tier off the bench, getting some quality minutes, but there's nobody that really pops, so to speak. And I'm pretty sure what you said. Yeah. I'm pretty sure we don't get this draft pick anyways. We lose it. Is it if we're a top 10 team, we lose we if we're a bottom 10 team, we lose a draft pick. Is that what it is this year? 10? Correct me if I'm wrong. I always confuse it. Yeah, top 10 protected. What? Oh, we keep it if it's bottom 10. Oh. You said Olenek is out there trying to play cricket in a basketball game. Going to the locker room and watch the maple syrup off your hands, Butterfinger. It's crazy. But keeping it does us no good because we have to give it away next year if that happens. True. Honestly, because of that alone, I would be low key tempted to sell at the end of the season, but I wouldn't sell right now because I want Keontae and the boys to know what it's like to win. Oh, then it comes in if immediately, basically. So, I wanted Walker to beat that shot off the glass. Oh, landing for three. Okay. Would you end up saying who first? It's about the time to bring up Hendricks Sensible. The issue is there's a specific type of player they're trying to turn them into that they're not ready to be yet. Sensible is probably the most realistic to bring up right now because his scoring, his shot volume, and just percentages in the G League have been pretty representative of what I would expect him to do in the actual league. But that aside, I think that he's going to have to what do you call it? His playmaking just has to get better because he puts you in the same situation as like a Jordan Clarkson kind of player where he can go nuclear from shooting, but he's probably not going to be able to pass that great, which we already have a Jordan Clarkson. His name is Jordan Clarkson. And to a certain degree, Colin Sexton is a similar way. And yeah, yeah. THT is just a conundrum in and of itself. Bro, there's no way. Kelly. How many fouls does Kelly have? Does he have? He has to have a lot. He has two. I don't understand. Maybe I'm reading the wrong one. Am I reading the wrong one? No, he has three. Still, that blow by is unprecedented. Is that wild of me? Bro. And it's like Kelly Olynyk these past couple games has been playing some really suspect defense. Like I know he's not a lockdown defender. I never expect that of him, but I've never seen him get like blatantly exposed this year specifically. This year, I've known he's been a poor defender in the past, but this year specifically, he hasn't been as poor of a defender as he has been like these past couple games, where like blow bys are almost inevitable for him, and I'm confused as to why that is. Said last year we would always be down 10 to 15 and come back and win like every night. Yeah, they just can't keep it close enough. That's the biggest issue. Should we go ahead and just choke it away? What's going on with Dunn? They say it's a personal reason. They haven't like he hasn't detailed what it is, so we're assuming it's family related. That's the most likely thing. But it says he's away from the team on personal leave for just a personal reason. So we won't know unless he decides to go ahead and just share that with everybody. So for now, obviously he wasn't playing the most minutes before when I felt like he should have been, but now they can't play him even if they wanted to because he's obviously out. But you said, I'm telling you, bro, I have just 5.3 fouls a game. Kelly plays close to the cuff. He does. Somebody who uncharacteristically has a lot of fouls right now, John Collins. He has 4. That's very out of line for him. Like today, this has been objectively the first bad game John Collins has ever had. He's 2 of 11 from the field, 0 of 3 from 3. He hit both of his free throws. He has 9 boards, but he has also 4 turnovers and 4 fouls. So objectively, this is a bad game. This is a bad game. And this is the first and hopefully the only time this season you ever hear me say that about John Collins because I love John Collins. Who is? Collins got hurt? Have I been sleeping? Help me out. Oh, Clarkson, yeah, he's out on injury. Yeah. I was about to say, dang, Collins got hurt and I was not paying attention. What the heck? Where was I? We're down 18. Collins with 10 boards. Okay. Samanich. Nope, can't get it. Bro, we got to get back in transition. The run a 3-on-1 is diabolical. Oh, we still got to pay down. I bet the front office regrets that. And Clarkson's hurt is resting. Oh, sorry, I jumped down the page. Hoopfest. I just realized that Nike. I asked you. John's defense knows Samanich on this side. Yeah. Clarkson is ill. Yeah. John Collins has been playing some center minutes and he hasn't done that well, so it could contribute to his struggles. Yeah, definitely. Oh, Paul, what's up, man? Definitely on the defensive side of the ball because he doesn't have the same rim protection ability that Walker Kessler and Omer Yurtseven have. And then on top of that, he also doesn't have the size to do the same things that they can do, which is the overarching issue. Um, he said, we look like, she said, I think we got to trade JC. I think that point's coming, but we have to wait until January to even have the opportunity to shop him because that's when it will be allowed because he just signed the extension. But with that being said, like he said, we look like 10 pounds of crap in a 9-pound bag. That'd be pretty accurate to say right now, actually. Good. Oh my goodness. Please let's not be cooked right now. Yeah. THT finish up the rim. Okay. Respect, respect, respect. Yeah, THT has been shooting rather abysmally overall the past like forever and a half. Low key. He already lost. Let's just develop George as much as possible. Let him play hero ball and see what he can do. The issue is Keontae George has taken 14 shots today and he's 4 of 14. So they have been letting him shoot. Mind you, he's only played 24 minutes of game action. So they're letting him hoop. He just wasn't hooping, which is actually crazy because when you think, if I were to tell you somebody shot 4 of 14, you're probably thinking Jordan Clarkson did. But he's not even playing this game. So yeah. That being said, I would like to see, since we're in this moment, a little bit more of Samanic. Who else? Who would I like to see off the bench? I've kind of seen enough of Kelly. I'm not gonna lie. You said we just gotta be patient with Keontae. He's something special. Yeah, you said great. I don't care. I don't care if he goes 4 of 28 is diabolical. That's insane. I don't know. I don't know if I can endorse that one. 4 of 20. If he goes 4 of 28, I might legitimately like cry. Because at that point, we just that weak contest by THT, bro. I understand he's a fast break, but come on. I'm not trying to get 20 piece on the road. Again. He said, I think Keontae shot 37% from the field this season. So he does have shooting struggles, but that's to be expected as a rookie. Yeah. The biggest thing about Keontae is most of his shots aren't bad shots, right? You want him to be willing to take certain shots because in the preseason, he didn't look like he was willing to take certain shots. He played alongside Chris Dunn and he got a little bit more comfortable. Then they sent him out on his own in the second unit, and he's been okay. Like shooting, obviously, his shooting splits are abysmal, right? He's like 32, 33% from three because most of his shot attempts end up being threes. Today, they haven't been actually. He's 4 of 14 from the field because he's driving and attacking the basket more. But because Minnesota's a good defensive team, he's not going to just be able to wildly drive and attack the basket and get a foul call by catching somebody out of position. He's just not out of position. Like Rudy Gobert, you're not going to catch him out of position because he's just hands up defense the entire time. Same thing with Nikhil Alexander Walker, Cat. Even though Cat's not a terrific defender, he's heavy enough and long enough to affect the shot should Keontae George attack him in any sort of situation, whether it be a pick and roll or a DHO, it doesn't matter. But we said, where are we? You're right. Who do you want to get traded? Who do I want traded first? The person that has to go first is probably THT because our style of basketball that we're playing right now isn't conducive to success with him on the roster, right? We're not maximizing his talents, and he looks like a garbage player when he's not actually trash. This system just doesn't benefit what he does well. So we need to go ahead and let him go, trade him, get something back, right? Secondarily, I know a lot of people probably won't agree, but I want Sexton starting at the shooting guard spot, and Clarkson to go ahead and get traded. It's about that time in my eyes. I believe he's the oldest guy on the roster, right? Because I don't think Olynyk's older than him. I think he's the oldest. Clarkson is. And then on top of that, he's inefficient. His defense is lackluster, to say the best. And when you don't shoot well on a lot of shots, which he has done often, and you can't play defense well, which he has done often, you're really a negative on both sides of the floor. Like his defensive rating is like a 124, like a 124.3 or something. But it's nasty. That being said, let's see. Mike Collins shot 1 of 17 in his Utah debut. That's a debut, though. Yeah, no, I do understand it. And like Keontae is allowed to miss a lot. He's been starting like at least 10 games now. I'm pretty sure because THC started what the first 8 games of the season, and now we're 17 games in. So he started about 10 games now, which is good. That's a healthy sample size. Whenever Chris Dunn comes back, I would like him to pick up the reins and him to get to a 10-game sample size just to see how things work. Goodness, another one? Yo, Alexander Walker is just robbing us today. How many steals does this guy have? He has 4 steals. That's absolutely egregious. You said the Rockets want THT? I would send him there. I would send him there. I would actually send him there for Jalen Green. I know they wouldn't take that trade, but I would love to have Jalen Green. I watched him back in high school, so I love his score first mentality. He's a volume shooter, and in my eyes, he's efficient. I don't know if my brain tells me he's efficient. He might actually not be as crazy as I think it is. You said one thing I love about Sexton is he's super hard on defense. Yeah. And the thing is, when people get buckets on Colin Sexton, it's not a lack of effort thing. It's like a you're too little thing. It's never a he didn't show up. Keontae for 3, too strong. Okay. Rudy Gobert is feeling himself today, and I don't like that. 6 and 9 from the field, 2 free throw line. He's got 14 and 12. Goodness. Let's see. Clarkson should be our 6th man once we make a trade. Yeah, I would agree. He needs to go to the bench. He's worth keeping. Yes, yes. The issue is we can't put him in a position to be really successful the way he has been in the past, right? Because we had a Mike Conley before that could table set for him, so he didn't have to think about anything but shooting the ball when he got the ball in his hands. Now he has to do a lot more creation, and that's the biggest issue. Appreciate that, Key. You said goodnight, Ray. Logging out because I work in the morning. Good luck streaming it. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Um, let me see. Where are we? I don't know why he hasn't been 6 man all season. Yeah. Are the Rockets shopping Green? I heard that they were, but I don't know what the sitting value for Jalen Green is right now. That's the only thing. I would love to do a straight up trade, but I don't think we're gonna be that lucky. We should have kept him and kept him. I liked him, and his on ball defense is great. Wait, who are you shouting out, Tatum? Who are you shouting out? Oh, you're talking about Conley, aren't you? I'm thinking back on conversation. Oh, they're trying to trade Jeff Green? Oh, we don't. Jeff Green wouldn't do much for us. High key. He was low key a net negative for the Denver Nuggets during their run, but he wasn't bad enough to like super impact the game negatively. And you do need those rotation pieces, even when they are slight negatives in certain games. You said, but Danny wanted a stupid pick he won't use. I'm weak. Tatum, right? We can't just stop optics. Yeah, I would agree. Ryan Smith loves JC, so he's gonna have to sign a contract before trading. Fair. Makes sense. Zay, what's up, bro? You said Bucks should have traded for Clarkson. That would actually be an interesting fit. I actually don't hate the fit of Clarkson. Well, defensively, that's a little rough. Clarkson and what's his name? Clarkson and what's the other guy? Dame. Clarkson and Dame might be a little nasty fit on defense. Offensively, that could work if they share the ball. What else do we have? We said Rockets. Yeah, yeah. We are larger. We'll take anything for THT. We might just get a pick. Realistically, yeah. We might just get it like a second rounder or future first pick consideration. If they're smart, they would throw JC the six. It's just an interesting conundrum because there's so many moving cogs in this machine, and nobody seems to have like a definite guarantee of what they want to do. Jazz should get Jonathan Kaminga from the Warriors. Kaminga would be an interesting piece. I don't hate the fit. I also don't love the fit though. What happened? Mm-hmm. Nice. I don't like Kaminga in Utah. Yeah, I was saying I just don't know the fit on that. Agree with you on the rookies. Flip side of the coin, the way we are playing, where it's going, it's time to let the rooks play. See Sensaball's mid range. We could use his mid range. Yeah. Sensible would be the most immediately serviceable for the offensive standpoint because when at our best, right? Lowry comes back, he's going to give you consistent points. John Collins is also going to be consistent points. The issue is we don't have a consistent secondary score, particularly at the guard position. We can't rely on Collins and Lowry to produce the entirety of the offense because we know we're not going to get but 10-ish, 12-ish points from Walker Kessler just because of the way they're running everything. But you have Keontae who's struggling with efficiency, and then you have Clarkson who's also struggling with efficiency. So we need some guard to really step up and get the job done for us. Now, could Sensabaugh potentially be that guy? I'm willing to entertain that. It'll be a longer road for George. George. I think Keontae playing against this defense is going to do really well in the long run. The biggest thing is Keontae's never seen a player like Rudy Gobert in his career. Like he's close to it, I guess, in practice when you play against Walker, but it's not the same, right? Especially since the Walker hasn't been available recently. Now, that being said, it's going to take quite a bit. He's not gonna get better today, but progressively, this is our second time playing him this season, right? We played him like really early November, I think. We got busted. 4 of 17 is diabolical. That's a nasty number. He said, in honor of Jordan Clarkson, I will put on for us. Nah, but he's this is a learning experience for Keontae George. He's getting handled right now. High key. But it's gonna be important for his long-term development. Let the boys get physical, ref. Don't blow the whistle. Um, I agree with you. Plus, he hates Clarkson. They gotta have a huge fight. They got in a huge fight last year. Oh, really? Really, really, really? Have you guys noticed Lowry has like one assist in the past 7 games? We need him to get his playmaking up. Hope this isn't his ceiling. This what separates all stars from superstars. Yeah. The interesting thing about Lowry is he shoots abnormally well from three. That three's killing me. Keontae's threes are killing me right now because he's not clearly like in in rhythm when he's catching these long distance ones as the trailer. So it's a bad shot attempt. Yeah, for example, like on that three right there that Karl Anthony Towns hit, um, Sexton is there. He's just short. You can't affect the shot if you're but so short, right? And for some reason, Kessler thought he was going to be able to lay the ball up on Gobert, which genuinely doesn't really happen that often. This is nasty. Let me see. I understand your concerns about his playmaking. I would say we should expect this is the best we're going to see out of Lowry. Great shooter, efficient scorer. That's all I expect from him. He's not even the greatest creator for his own shot. If you force Lowry to put the ball on the ground, things get a little bit weird. But if you allow him to get a quality 3-point attempt off a curl, off a down screen, whatever the case may be, or even attacking the basket, he's sliding downhill and you give him a dump off pass. Great action for him, right? He can do it very efficiently. Even in short spurts, he can do really good playmaking for himself. But if you put him in a position where he has to be the table setter for other people and the overall playmaker, you're probably not gonna love the result of it just because that's not something that comes to him easily. And we've already seen if you try and force somebody like a Jordan Clarkson whose job is to shoot the ball and hit shots and make him add that and tell him to add that to his game, it usually doesn't pan out well because that means his turnovers are by default also going to go up because he's going to try and fit the ball through windows that he either hasn't done before and hasn't done consistently enough to make it like an aspect of his game, or a pass that he just shouldn't make in general, but he's going to try and fit it in there because he feels like he has to fit it in there. That's the only worry that I have with that one. But I would agree, him, even if he could average 2 assists a game, because right now he's giving Michael Porter never swing the rock junior vibes, which isn't ideal, but we have to appreciate his shooting. You know what I'm saying? Coop, shout out to you. Hey, Mike, or I said Mike. Hey, Coop, real quick before I finish with what I was saying. Shout out to the money that you donated to the buy me a coffee site. This mic is brought to us by Derek, you, and Lee. So thank you for that. By the way, just had to shout that out because you weren't in the last stream, so I didn't get to thank you. That being said, back to the topic at hand. What about DeMar? Is he too old for us? I would say so. I don't know how much more DeMar has left in the tank, but he isn't super shot reliant. So I think that's also a concern of ours because most of his game is downhill, which means as he gets older and his athleticism tailors off, it's likely also to go off. I'm going to put a square peg and a round table. Need to look at the game. Lowry doesn't seem to be a playmaker. He's 7'1", 7'1" aren't really ball handlers. Yeah, and he's a pretty darn good ball handler for a 7-foot guy. Obviously, he's not Kevin Durant, right? But him being able to shoot the way he can, we need to take advantage of as much as we can because he should not be able to. So we need to make his shots easy and let him get back on track and get back in rhythm 3-point wise. Because lately he's been taking like a lot of threes, but they haven't been falling to a similar degree as they had in the past, which is the only minor concern I have with his game. Defensively, there's some things to be worked on, but overall, everybody has to get better, and he's one of the lesser issues on defense. You said, question: if someone wants him to make it wants him to make a championship run, do we trade him away? It depends on what they're willing to give. But if it's for a championship team, they're probably not willing to give a lot for him because they want to keep their assets to make things happen. I would say no, though. I like what Lowry brings to the team. Him being the main motor, he's been like between him and John Collins, they've been the main offensive pieces where you can count on them on a nightly basis to not be terrible. Tonight is one of the rough nights, is like the roughest night I've ever seen of John Collins. He's 1 of 4 from 3, 3 of 12 from the field overall, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, but he has 12 boards. Still has 4 turnovers and 4 personals, so this is not a good game for him. But overall, those 2 guys I really love, so I would be very hesitant. Like, the package you would have to offer for me to be willing to unload Lauri Markkanen is just insane, and I don't think a lot of teams are willing to spend a bag for him, even though he is a really good shooter. Logic, gonna see you later. Alright, I'll see you, Logic. Yes, sir, I appreciate you. Um, you said they come with a crazy package. Yeah, Lowry. Yeah. And DeMar would want to be on a contender. Yeah, I would agree with Paul on that one. Yeah. DeMar also probably wouldn't love it here. That being said, it is possible though. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. There you go, bro. Glad to see it's gone to a good cost. Yeah, you already know, man. You already know. Um, let's send Clarkson to Memphis for Rose. Bring Rose to teach Keontae. That frees up time for other rotations. Well, see, the only issue with that night guy is like if any trade we make, we have to give up 2 guards. So we have to decide what 2 guards we're going to do. Because if we trade a guard to get a guard, we put ourselves in the same situation where Chris Dunn doesn't see the court at all. Abaji sees the court sparingly for his defensive impact. THT still going to do what THT does, whatever the case may be. We're still in the same 1-for-1 issue. So I think we have to give up 2 guards to get one better guard or overall guard together. Um, Plus, I more so like the relationship that Dunn and Keontae have, and I feel like if we played them on the court more or allowed Dunn to be the starting point guard and had Keontae come off the bench, it would be much better for Keontae's overall development, and we would see more immediate progression because he would have a more ideal guard in front of him. Obviously, Dunn isn't the same individual like bucket getter, pound for pound that Keontae has looked to be, but if he learns how to play make the way that Dunn does and play defense the way that he does, because he's slightly, I'm pretty sure they're the same height, if not a little bit taller. He has the ability to just like get the job done efficiently. So I trust it. I trust it though. My fault. I zoned out right there. Taylor instead of 7 inch. Yeah, 7 inch. Rose in Memphis is iconic because he went to college in Memphis. He wants to be home for the rest of his career. I don't see him playing for the Jazz. Yeah, that's fair too. I did forget that. Colin Sexton payback for 3. Thank you. Good. All right. 21 turnovers. I'm pretty sure that ties our season high. Let's see. Bro, Keontae's still such a shot chucker. He needs to be smarter. The issue is he's shooting shots that he's not hitting and he keeps shooting them. They're not bad shots by and large. Like a trailing 3 is something that he should be able to hit. He's a point guard. He should be able to hit that one, right? But more so, you're going to see trailers end up being the, you know, Lowry Markkanen. He's going to be the elite trailer for this Utah Jazz team. John Collins can also be an elite trailer. Your 7 is more of like a pick and pop kind of guy, I would probably say. But overall, I don't hate that either. But, this was not a great game. But you live and you learn. You live and you learn. You said at least where are we at? You said at least 10 points off careless middle of the court turnovers. I would argue more. I would argue closer to 20, honestly, because Nikhil Alexander Walker had 5 steals alone. And I'm pretty sure 4 out of 5 he single handedly went to the basket right there. So that was 8 points guaranteed from him alone. And we had 21 turnovers overall. So probably more. Probably more. Um, uh, I wouldn't touch DeMar Levine. No real wants to pay the Bulls asking price right now. They're more interested in Vooch or Caruso. Yeah, that's fair. Caruso would be a sneaky good pickup. I don't think his athleticism, he got injured recently, right? But I feel like his overall athleticism hasn't fallen off and he's been pretty reliable just in general. He's going to give the energy on defense similarly to Sexton, but he's also larger and has the more of a THT type frame. So he has the ability to deal with more, I would say. Plus, he's a decent shooter. He deals well with pressure. So I would love to have him added to the rotation. I would overpay for him. I would trade 2 guards for him, low key. That's crazy. Yeah, that like what Coop said, he just can't stay healthy at all. That's the biggest issue with him. I would love to have Lonzo, but we don't know when Lonzo's expected to play next season, right? And if that's the case, I might do like a soft inquiry, like a little light credit check just to see where he's at in his return. Like if he's been cleared for any sort of like mobile action, what he can do on the court. I know he's obviously not cleared for contact, but like just in general, what can he do? How he's feeling? If his shooting form is just, completely degraded and it's gone now because he hasn't been able to like shoot at game speed and play in like scrimmages and whatnot. I'm not 100% sure, but it's just a little bit interesting to see how things are going to play out for that. I would overpay for Lonzo. Once he comes back, if I believe he's healthy, I would overpay because we can. Tayton, you said it right there. The thing is, we can afford to overpay. We have the picks to do it. Exactly. Bingo. I'm sorry, I just skipped like way down the chat. It just caught my eye. Would you be sad if we traded Sexton away? Yeah, a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I think Keontae needs Lowry. A lot of it frees him up. Yeah, I would say so. And then also he needs people that are gonna. I would like to see him play on the court alongside Dunn because Dunn is very slow and deliberate in his attack. So when Dunn, whoever your guard is, your primary ball handler, they have to be able to control the pace of the game for the rest of the guys. When somebody gets sped up, like Colin Sexton does sometimes, Colin has learned over the course of the season, even in his spot minutes, to slow it down. But the issue is when you sit Colin, somebody said it in the comment section of one of the videos. He plays like the first 7 minutes of the second quarter, then sits the rest of the second quarter and plays the last 7 minutes of the third quarter. That's like a 30-ish plus minute break of playtime. So when he comes in, he's like just super jittery. He really wants to get after it. And he knows that if he doesn't do enough now, he's going to get sent right back to the bench. Right. So when you put guys in that sort of situation, they don't have the time to get after the rhythm and everything. And that's like one of the larger issues alongside our defensive struggles, which I do pay attention to. And you really think about it, no no Anthony Edwards today. The real reason why they touched 100 points wasn't because they were hitting all the shots. It was because we gave up too many easy buckets. That was the bigger thing. So overall defensively we have progressed, right? So shout out to the boys for doing that, but offensively we haven't just found that consistent rhythm that we need them to have. Hopefully we find it before it's just too late. That's really all I got to say on that. Um should trade Clarkson and THT at all the guards. Out of all of them, I would say THT is the one that is best suited to be on another team. Clarkson, we can't find somebody that can be a primary ball handler and table set for him. So if we're gonna just keep doing this to him, he's gonna keep looking like he's inconsistent and he can't shoot the basketball. At which point I would actually be willing to trade him to a contending team. Now we probably wouldn't get much in return, because they would want to keep most of their assets. But I would definitely explore the options just to test the waters and see what people are willing to do. Because at worst, he comes off the bench for somebody else and he's really reliable. Because even if we take him off the bench now, he's just going to end up taking less shots. He's still going to experience the same problems because we have the same point guards setting the table. Unless we decide to try, Chris Dunn at point, which I've said from the beginning of time he should have been starting at the beginning of the season. But I'm just a random guy, like I always say. So they have no reason to take heed. You know what I'm saying? Um, where are we? Where are we? Where are we? You said man rough game. Oh yeah, Christian. Yeah, I would agree with you. You said when you have struggles getting 100 points, that's the problem. Yeah, undoubtedly, shooting 38% from the field is not acceptable in any way, shape, or form. With or without your star player, because it's not like having Jordan Clarkson would have upped the percentage. It would have stayed roughly the same, if not dropped a little bit, right? So without Lowry, you can't sit there and just be completely bad shooting because it shows how rough it is. And if I'm Lowry, I'm still sitting there. I'm like, can I win with these guys? Because if he doesn't feel like he can win with these guys, it doesn't matter how much chemistry we have, bro. I'm here to win. At some point, I'm not going to be able to do what I'm capable of doing right now. So I need to capitalize on my window of success immediately. And at times it doesn't look like they're going to allow him to do that because of their poor play. You said I love Nikhil. Glad he's getting the minutes on a good team, good defender and playmaker. Agreed. Agreed. He's somebody we would love to have, right? But we don't have him, unfortunately. Um, Cruz can't stay healthy at all. Same too. Cruz was a dog. Yeah. Don't think we can afford to overpay. Yeah. Bulls are 100% blowing it up at the deadline. Where you think all the players will go? Ooh, that's a spicy one. It's really going to come down to who's the highest bidder. They're really going to just put everybody up for auction, in my opinion. Now they might keep a couple of pieces, but by and large, I think they're going to blow it up and just see who can go for the highest price. And if it matches the predetermined number they had in their head, or for piece wise, then they might just go ahead and say, okay, cool. Or if it's a team that is interested, but they're not offering the right pieces, they'll be like, okay, obviously we're going into the rebuilding stage. We're looking for this young piece on your roster, solid defender, solid playmaker. We kind of want this guy. If you can include him, we'll let you keep so and so. Just add a draft pick to it, and we'll make a deal here. I could see them doing a lot of that action, but specific team wise, I think. Oh, Coop, you actually just touched base on it. I just realized when I skimmed down, the Warriors would be an interesting trade partner for them because the Warriors are in the latter years of their success. The dynasty has, reached its peak. It's kind of fallen off. So I could imagine them being in a situation where they go ahead and try and see if they can get one of the younger guys, even a Zach Levine. Now, I don't love that fit immediately because they already have Andrew Wiggins, right? And they have Klay Thompson, and Klay Thompson, while he isn't shooting well overall this season, I still hesitate to say Klay Thompson is washed. I refuse to say that just yet. Um, but by and large, I trust the process that they have in place, and it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do. You said hard pass on Caruso. Price is way too high. I feel like James. I feel like the price could only be but so high considering how injury prone he is. Now, of course, I'm leave room to be wrong because I don't have the most highly insider information on the Bulls. But if their asking price is too high, considering the way his health has been lately, that just wouldn't make sense, and that would also explain why he just hasn't been moved yet. To be quite honest with you, because they have to blow it up. They can't keep running it back with this roster because it's clearly not working, right? Um, said because Minnesota and Cleveland overpaid the guys. Interesting. Yeah. I think the Warriors will try and pursue Vucevic. That would be interesting. That specifically. I feel like they won't have enough for it, but yeah. I don't know. The Warriors could finagle something. It might not look the sexiest in the immediate future, but I think Vucevic, with his ability to do some light playmaking, some light shooting, he would fit well enough along with their current roster to where he could kind of boost their ability a little bit. Plus, you're not expecting much of an offensive output from Draymond Green as far as shot making goes. So you need somebody that can also take that load, whether it be off the bench, whether it be starting, whatever the case may be. Danny be acting like we broke. Yeah, yeah, you do. He be acting like all you got. The only season we got in the pantry is salt and pepper. We don't even got paprika. We don't got nothing. Anything that has more than 5 letters, we don't have it. 6 letters. Pepper has 6 letters. So yeah, anything more with 6 letters, we don't got it. That's basically the way he treats everything in a trade. Desperate contenders will try and trade for the Bulls players. Yeah, I see that, Paul. Let's just suck and slow build like OKC did. Coops, I agree. Dunn controls pace really well. Lowell's the defender. Yeah, that won't work. We already have our key piece, Lowry. If we let him age too much, it'll be a desperate waste and starting from scratch. If we have to get rid of that pick swap, I'd rather we do it this year. That being said, I want us to do our best to mix and match things and find what works for us before we decide, okay, let's go ahead and shut everybody down and just tank and give this pick up now. Because next year's draft is going to be more interesting and tantalizing than this year's draft. Unless, of course, for some reason, we just end up getting, I don't know. Is Bronny? Yeah, Bronny's at USC right now. So, if for some magical purpose, Bronny just doesn't get picked up by anybody and we can get him. And LeBron does honor his original deal of, playing for whatever team Bronny goes to. That would be the only reason. And I know a lot of people in the chat aren't very fond of LeBron, just in general. But that would be the only situation where you could reasonably say, try and keep your pick this year. That would be it. And that's if Bronny falls beyond a certain extent to even be available for us to pick him. Because if it's top 10 protected, as Tate said earlier in the chat. But yeah. That being said, LeBron with a shooter like Lowry would be actually insane if he can maintain this level of play he's been. Obviously, he's old as dirt. He's old as time. He's doing his best Betty White impression, aging like fine wine. Goodness. We already have 1 star out of 2 that we need if we slow starting back. At 0, we'll have 0 hope of 2 stars or picks. I got you. Lowry isn't a number 1 option on a contender. Trade Lowry for picks. Lowry for picks, we can't just keep doing for picks, though. That's the only thing with that, James. I see what you're saying. And I would agree with Coop that Lowry might not be the number 1 option on a contender. Lee was actually talking to me about possibly doing a video as to entertain the question, can you be a number 1 option on a contending team while simultaneously not being a playmaker? Because that's a very important thing to take note of, because one of the biggest knocks for people like Kevin Durant is an okay playmaker, but he's not a great playmaker. So in that sense, he has to have a great playmaker on his team, or has to have a system in place that is full of great playmakers, or decent to average to above average playmakers in the sense of the Warriors, for him to have the opportunity to win a championship, which is interesting in and of itself. And there's a lot of different ways you could take it, and really none of them are wrong. It's just a matter of perspective and situational basketball, I would have to say. You said Lowry is easily a 2? Yeah, for sure. 2 or 3, depending on how stacked the team is. Yeah. If you have Lowry as your 3rd best player playing the way he is right now, chef's kiss, you have a cakewalk. Like Lowry, if you put him on, he's like souped up Brook Lopez right now. Right? Remember how Brook Lopez had a really good back-to-basket game with the Nets, and then he just all of a sudden became a shooter and was with Giannis, and that's all he did. He shot threes, played decent enough rim protection, even though he wasn't a shot blocker. Like Lowry's like that, but on crack, because he can do it in like high numbers. High numbers. We've seen it at the beginning of the season. Now it's kind of tapered off a little bit. He's still shooting the threes, but they're not as high quality, and that's the reason why his percentage has dropped, in my opinion. I could look back at a compilation of the overall threes he's taken and be like, oh, wait, I was wrong. But for now, that's something I'm willing to stand on. Do the Warriors even have picks? That's a great question. I couldn't tell you. But since they gave up Jordan Poole, who did they? Yeah, Chris Paul. Never mind. I don't know why. I just sat there and thought about that. I reckon we get their picks 4 or 5 years' time, and then they'll be see Lowry fitting in with the Thunder or Pelicans if he gets traded. Oh, the Pelicans is a spicy one, Paul. That's a spicy, spicy take. I don't hate that. I actually don't hate that. That's actually really good. I obviously I wouldn't want to see him there, but I could understand that for sure. I think Lowry's a number 2 option, which I think is great if we rebuild. I don't see the Thunder making any moves, but it's actually a good fit. Yeah, it's an amazing fit, all jokes aside. We need more picks. 3 first-rounders a year isn't enough. The Jazz last year were so much fun to watch. Yeah, at the end, yeah. Having a ton of picks really worked out bad for OKC. In a sense. Coop said a desperate team is going to overpay for Levine and regret it. Depends on the team, though. Depends on the team. We already have as many picks as OKC. I could see Charlotte using Levine, low-key. I'm just throwing that out there. So we already have as many picks as OKC. The Warriors have to trade a lot. Caruso would be so good for the Warriors, but too expensive for them. Yeah, I would agree. Everyone besides Lowry, Kessler, and Keontae is open for trade. I like Collins. I would like to keep Collins. I think you can scheme Collins into being a decent enough defender to keep him, because offensively he's been one of the most consistent pieces. That being said, Dunn, if nothing else, is a solid reserve piece to have, because he's going to be reliable regardless of how he does. Um, let me see. But yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Apparently, according to Bleacher Report, a lot of teams are looking for Caruso, so bidding war. Oh, really? Start Moses Moody, trade away Clay. Really? You think they would break Clay away from Steph like that? I feel like there might be a package deal, like to Steph, even regardless of Clay's like recent, like what we're seeing from him. Chris, you said, I now come here after the game instead of the locked post game. Thank you, sir. I'm glad to have you. Stealing viewers from other stream is great. It's great. It's great. I love having a loving audience here. You said LeBron in Utah is crazy. I'm saying some teams will pick up Bronny just to get LeBron. That's the thing. Like a lot of people joke and say, "Oh, LeBron is going to be the system. He's going to mess up your chemistry." But let's face it, LeBron right now, the way he's shooting from the floor, the way he's playmaking is all that stuff. If you can take that and you just take on future Bronny, right? Bronny's not going to be very good his first year. He's just there. But you can get 1 year, even 1 year, a 1 year rental of LeBron. And all you have to do is draft Bronny. Bronny is at worst going to be a reliable role player, right? He could be a starter in the league, but I think at worst we understand, most analysts would agree that his floor is a average role playing type guy, 6-man type role, right? Solid defensive purse for one, so that's going to keep him on the court. A 1 year rental with LeBron. Who's to say you can't convince LeBron to stay maybe one more year? Give it one more. Mike could, but it'd be interesting. You said LeBron would trade, LeGM would trade Bronny before moving his ass to Utah. Yeah, that's honestly the realistic fact of the matter. Unfortunately, whoever gets Bronny gets LeBron most likely. Yeah, most definitely. But Bronny would be a second round pick. You think so? I think that somebody will pull the trigger earlier. We need to play the youth. It's good to see Rudy and Conley. Brandon, that's your first time in the chat, isn't it? Glad to see you, buddy. Glad to see Rudy and Conley doing well. Hope they win it all. Yeah, the Timberwolves are actually a genuinely good basketball team, and I wish well for them because they're very defensively proficient. I love a good defensive team. I know it's not sexy to watch. I know, seeing a bunch of missed shots is like, oh, the team sucks. Both teams just can't hit a lick. They're both bad. But like a good defensive rotation when people are really swinging the ball just turns me. What that was going to be so misleading. It makes me really happy to watch. Right? It makes me love the game of basketball. It really turns me on. Crazy. Spurs almost came back in the Sohan defense. Offensive foul with 2 seconds left. That's wild. Ooh, Rob Dillingham. That is an interesting prospect. What did I just do? I just sold. What did I just do? I just closed out the stream. I can't see my things. I cannot see my things. Hang on one second, y'all. Okay, we're good. Whoo! I got scared. I did get scared. All right, I'm back. Rob Dillingham is an interesting prospect or project. Yeah. I'm a Jazz and Hawks fan, so I'm happy with that. LOL. Fair enough, Paul. So, Trey plays defense for the first time in his life, and it's clutch. Insanity. It's also hard for like people like Trey. He's like in the Colin Sexton realm, but he's not as quick twitch as Colin. So him playing defense is difficult because he doesn't have the weight, he doesn't have the strong base, and he just isn't long or tall enough to really affect too many players. So in switches, he's very liable to get attacked. You said something with the locked on get Jazz guy. You said something's off, like in general or like specifically? Oh, his in arena comments are so stupid. Well, you guys said somebody said that he was like really he's employed by them, so he's supposed to say certain things. He's not freelance. He can't shoot off the cuff like we can. So I don't know. Maybe Stephen Clay, they don't want to be separated, but I think he's done. His lateral movement is cooked and he's clearly regressed. Yeah, I would agree with that, Coop. He said, what do you say? See Bronny being a Karis LeVert type player? That's interesting. That's a very interesting comparison. I say that's definitely at worst, that's definitely a good floor for him, Coop. That's a very good comparison. Out of left field, too. I never would have thought about that on my own. I'll pull a head out because 10:31 for me. Good night. All right, good night, bro. Oh, he's on the East Coast like me. Paul's on the East Coast like me. If he was still in here, I'd ask him what state he's in. Um, I couldn't tell you. It's every game they play a video from at the beginning, and he's like, "Jazz need to do this and this to have a chance to win in the game." Yeah, probably just cares a lot. Could be that too. And it's usually something ridiculous. Every player gets 2 rebounds. Oh wait, I remember when he said the Jazz need to utilize their challenge. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that would have had me dying too, Tane, for real. This Spider must be mad right now, being on a losing situation with a horrible coach while the Timberwolves are number one. He's a little sick to his stomach. Anthony Edwards is better than Spider. That's not crazy to say, right? Like y'all would agree with that? That's not a hot take, I feel. Especially not this year. I would have said it last year, low key, but definitely this year, for sure. Bucket for bucket, stance for stance. Because Spider doesn't lock up. Ant was a slightly better defender just by virtue of him being there. But now he's like he's bought in. Like he's on it. He's taking defense personally, and that's the difference, I think. So for anybody that would say, "Oh, they're Matt," I would give I would say Ant's slightly not as good offensively. Well, defensively is not close in my opinion. So case closed. Um, let's see. Like, bro, the game isn't gonna come down to one play, most likely. Yeah, we've been good with our challenge most games. For the most part, yeah. Bulls Bucks game is good right now. Is it? What happened? I think Caruso hit the game tying shot. Oh, to force OT. They're in OT right now. I need to pull that up on the side. Oh, I see it. I see it. 116 left in the OT. 111, 110. Challenges are an important aspect, and using them wisely is a must. But to list it as a key point in the game before the game is ridiculous. Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. Yeah. Better last 2 years. Yeah, fair, fair. I think it's a hot take still. You think it's a hot take still or controversial? I think a lot of people would combat me on it. I just didn't know how hot the take was to actually like say for those two, considering the type of play styles they have realistically. Christian said, I'm not sure yet if Ant can be clutch in the playoffs, and I say 100%. Really? So in theory, for you, Christian, what would you say he has to do like in the playoffs? How successful do the Timberwolves have to be for you to say he's definitely like for certain you're willing to buy the Anthony Edwards over Donovan Mitchell stock? What how successful would he have to be? Tiago, welcome back, brother. He said Ant got that better mindset. Yeah, he just hasn't. He just hasn't had the chance yet. But if he kills in the playoffs, then hands down, I'll admit he's better. Okay, okay, I get you. I get you. I get you. Spider is an underrated defender, though. He can be used. He can be used to be a liability, but not anymore. I say he's slightly above average. I would say at worst, Spider is average on defense. I think he's a little bit more bought in than he has been at any other point in his career, kind of because he has to push the needle for his team. But I would say he's not as locked down as he should be. Like Chris Dunn at his height and size should not be as locked down as he is, but he just has the mental fortitude to get it done. Spider has more talented, more quick twitch, and does less with it overall. I don't remember Donovan being super clutch in the playoffs. Yeah, but I do understand the logic of, well, if the opposing person is super clutch while this guy hasn't shown that clutch gene, he automatically supersedes his like what is it, 4 or 5 years of extra NBA skill and talent. Yeah. I meant controversial. I just think D Mitch is better. I still think D Mitch is better, but he's my favorite. But I see. I get you. I get you. Got a lot of points. Yeah. Spider better offensively and better defensively. Is Spider a better playmaker? That might be the offensive difference. Because like the efficiency that Anthony Edwards has this season, like he's always low key been a efficient player. I thought his rookie year he was inefficient. He was actually efficient to his rookie year. He just wasn't. He's just progressively gotten a little bit more efficient, which is crazy to think about. But I love it. I love it for him. He said he gets it done. Nice one. A first or second round exit usually. Yeah. One of the few positives for me, Colin Sexton's decision making seems improved over the last few games, making the passes and taking smarter shots, in my opinion. I would agree with you on that one, Tiago. Yeah, we're definitely seeing the same game. Uh, Colin also plays better late in the game, which I don't recognize if Will recognizes. Because like he started out this game 1 of 5 or 1 of 4. He was 1 of 4 starting the game. Finished the game 4 of 8. Obviously 1 of 2 from three. That first one he took was probably not the best three to take, but it was what it was. It was 5-5 from the free throw line. Had 3 boards, 4 assists, but he did end up picking up 3 turnovers. It was really two, but that last one where Mike Conley came out of nowhere to get back in the play and jumped and forced him like dribble, that do that weird dribble thing. But yeah, let's see. That's it. Better playmaker and deeper bag, in my opinion. But Cleveland coaching sucks. Yeah, it's rough. They're both pretty efficient players. I would say they're both really efficient players, low key. Not obviously they're neither of them are Stephen Curry from three, but they're both like 37%. I know at worst Ant is like 37.3%. So D Mitch has to be in that same ballpark, I would say, on a similar number of attempts. Um Sexton is so on and off for me. I think I've decided definitely THT who's gotta go. Well, we agree on that. We agree on that. Have to leave temporarily. If you're still on in about 20, I'll be here. If not, I'll see you next time. What time is it? It's 10:40 where I am. I'll try. I will try to stay on, Tane. For you, I will try and stay on. Yeah. I think I can manage that. I think I can manage that. I think I'll go to till like 11:15, 11:20 Eastern Standard Time. Started off strong, ended it off strong, but weren't consistent today. Yeah. Yeah. I would agree with you on that one, Tiago. Things looked really promising in the first quarter, and like even almost halfway through the second quarter, and then things just started going like slowly downhill, and they got really bad really quickly, which was the bigger issue for us, honestly. Because a lot of it was self-inflicted. That's the worst ones. Like when 20 subs off 800, I know Coop, I'm trying to get there, bro. I'm almost there. I gained 4 subs today without even posting a video, so that was nice. I don't know. I'm trying to see where we're getting them from, and I'm not catching them yet. That's the only issue that comes from that. Yep. That's the only thing that's throwing me off about it. But I need another banger video. So as a matter of fact, let me send this email. I'm sitting here chatting with y'all. I was in a rush. I gotta send this video to my editor so he can add some clips to it. Would you like to share a viewer editor? Cool. I just shared it with him. Yeah. Y'all just reminded me actually. It's a little Keontae one. The stats will be a little bit different, obviously, because it's post it's I recorded the video obviously before this game. And since he's in India, he's about to get up because he's 12 hours behind me. Or ahead of me? Behind me or ahead of me? I can't remember. But either way, it should be 12 a.m. for him. So I'm about to message him on IG and see if he can cook something up for me before I wake up. I see Keontae, I click. Yeah. Progress. I love it. Gotta make my usual post. I thought about making a post when it was 775, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna wait till 800 because I've been doing it like each 100 now. So I can go back. And I was thinking about making a separate channel that was gonna just be about like YouTube growth and my personal journey because I realized there's not anyone that does it. And most of the YouTube growth channels are about YouTube growth, or they're about fashion, or they're about style, or like they're like lifestyle vlogs. But none of them are, what do you call it? None of them are for like, sorry, Brian sold on me. None of them are like for people that do sports type content or people that do gaming content. And I wanted to get into the gaming space. I couldn't navigate it well enough on my own just yet to get in there. So I took the sports route. And so I think it would be beneficial to people to see like how my metrics work, my journey, and just how you guys were for me. because obviously we have something going that a lot of people can't just easily emulate. So I'm glad I was here, right place, right time, kind of thing. You said Bulls won without DeMar or Levine. I think it's because they're not closing the game. Bucks pack watch. That's nastiness. That is nasty. We're gonna hear about it tomorrow on First Take. I'm already knowing. It's weird. Keontae had a bad to so shooting night, 4 of 19, and I'm okay with it. Yeah, and it's because we're willing to take the loss at Keontae's hands. We're not willing to take the loss at other people's hands, which I think a lot of people don't really pay attention to. So in my head right now, I personally think we don't throw in the towel just yet, right? So Keontae's misses. Here's my issue for the video that I'm about to drop is it revolves around Keontae George and Chris Dunn. Effectively, Chris Dunn is the more reliable overall piece if you're trying to win games. If the objective is to win games, you want Chris Dunn. Plays mountains better defense. Offensively, he's going to be more efficient. He's going to take less shots, and he's going to be more of a better overall table setter for the team. That being said, Chris Dunn is not your future. Keontae is, right? So Keontae has to be that next point guard up, and they need to share the point a little bit. But I think having Chris Dunn be the person ahead of him would be most reliable to his immediate development long term. And then on top of that, you can also win games in the process. And then whenever you decide, okay, let's go ahead and shut down the stars for the season because we're not going anywhere, or we're going to go ahead and give up our draft pick this year instead of waiting and giving them a better draft pick and a better draft next year. Let's go ahead and just toss it this year. You can go ahead and sit Dunn and then let Keontae burn. And whatever he doesn't make you a great or worse team because you already accomplished your season goal of however many games you wanted just to get yourself in a space to where you are in possession of your own destiny. And at that point, every minute, anything you do on top of that for development pieces is cake on there. And you can throw Kendricks in there. You can throw Sensabaugh in there because those games effectively don't matter at all, right? The games right now still matter to a certain extent. So that's also why I'm a little apprehensive about pulling them up, especially since we haven't made Hendricks a 3-and-D player like we want him to be, right? His efficiency facing the basket hasn't been great, but his 3-point shot is translating, so that's a good sign. And Sensabaugh, we want him to be more of a playmaker. He's shown it in spurts, but it's not completely there. But by the time we decide to shut everybody down and we would move Keontae back up, that would be perfect, honestly, because you can run all three of them on the court at the same time, if we're being real with it, right? And then you can have Walker out there if you want to still have him playing like 20, 25-ish minutes a game. Have your 7 get some good minutes in there. If you want to see Fontecchio get some big minutes, yeah, him too. John Collins can get some big minutes too because he deserves them, right? But yeah, maybe that was actually a lot more well thought out than I actually had it in my video, which is actually hilarious. I think it's just because I'm talking to you guys, so it shoots off the cuff a lot easier. Let's see, he's bad shooting season. He's probably shooting like 34%. Yeah, right around there. Got you. Cool, bro. You should do it. Yeah. Cool, but it doesn't grind. It doesn't grind my gears. Oops. I'll turn on the red LEDs. What games do I play? Bro, I haven't been on the sticks in forever. I used to play Call of Duty. I used to play Fortnite. I used to play I played Among Us when it was at its peak. Like I miss peak Among Us time. Like before everybody started making the memes in real life and like you had all the like merchandise being sold. Like when it was just a game on your phone or on PC, bro, those were peak times because the game was genuinely fun. And like I used to go on YouTube and like watch the videos of the people playing it. And then obviously I'm a sports guy, so I play Madden and 2K because like literally Peak Among Us on Discord was so good. Literally, Coop, you get it. You get the vibes. You know what I'm saying? No, I care, because we're just not gonna win in these rookie. Fair. Say he shoots 35% and 18 shots instead of 50% on shit. So it's wow. I'd rather he shoots 35% on 18 shots instead of 50% on 6 shots. I can see that. Yep, I agree. Done is steady with the point. The point, I think, is Hardy's just trying to showcase THT and Sexton before the deadline. Yeah, THT definitely has to be the one to go. Clarkson, I'm up in the air about it because Clarkson's issue isn't that Clarkson is cheeks, right? Clarkson needs a table setter. When we had Mike Conley, Clarkson looked better. Why? Because Mike Conley's a table setter. If we don't have a table setter to pair with him, he's going to look bad and he's going to continue to underperform. So if we put Chris Dunn out there and Chris Dunn can't table set for him, then it's time to let him to trade him to somebody who can table set for him, because we're doing him a disservice by keeping him while we can't maximize his talent, and he's doing us a disservice because he can't be as good as he was in the past. You know what I'm saying? Bro, and Corpse, don't forget Corpse, Coop. Toast 5 up, Corpse, um, Saikuno. That was when I first got surprised by Valkyrie, right? That was when I got introduced to her, Pokimane. It was like what? It was like 8, 10, 12 different people. Like, it was crazy. Let's see. The last thing I want to see is Keontae become apprehensive. Fair. Off the dome, I'm saying. Um, let's see if the Nets are willing to trade Dinwiddie or Bridges. I don't think they'll trade Bridges for a reasonable price, though. I think he's the guy they want to stick with. Now, if they don't want Cam Thomas, give me Cam Thomas. I know a lot of people are up in the air about Cam Thomas. They say his efficiency is questionable. His efficiency isn't actually questionable. If you look back and deep dive into even the advanced metrics, his shooting numbers aren't that bad. Even in his off games, he's not terrible. He doesn't take as many shots, and therefore his efficiency doesn't take as much of a hit when he has an off night, because he knows he has an off night, and then he doesn't shoot like he doesn't keep shooting the ball. He recognizes it and he just retracts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 5 up toast. Oh, yeah. I think Hardy was hoping something would come out of those three, Clarkson, THT, and Colin, but it soon became obvious to everyone that none of them were a playmaker we need. Yeah. I would say Colin never really got the genuine opportunity because he never started a game to prove that he was that playmaking guy. But I personally don't believe him to be the number one playmaking guy. If you think Colin Sexton's a table setter, this is coming from a guy that watched Colin Sexton from high school. That's just not him. Can he table set a little bit? Yes. Is he going to make smart decisions with the ball when you give him the opportunity to play without the fear of him being yanked from the game if he makes one mistake? Yes. Yes, he can be. He can be very proficient. And as a starter, I think he would do more. He would be more successful. But that being said, he's an undersized shooting guard. That's the way I've always looked at his game to a certain extent. And that's why, honestly, Cleveland was better willing to part with him than they would ever part with Darius Garland, right? Because that's just not happening. Because Darius Garland is a godsend for them from a playmaking standpoint. And obviously, Tyrese Halliburton is like S tier, but I would say Darius Garland's like A tier. Like, he's right underneath in that little realm of basketball. You should hop on Lethal Company. Going to be the next Among Us. Good game where the friends you got define how good it is. I'm about to look it up right now. Hold on. I'm about to look it up right now. I'm not even playing no games. I'm right behind you. Hold on. You said Lethal Company. Give me a summary of what it's about. Oh, it's on Steam? I can definitely download it. I'll download this on my PC. Yeah. Give me a summary of what it's about, though. All their vids together were bangers. Absolutely. Probably, right? Yeah. I'm willing to bite on him. Think the Nets would trade in with it. Yeah, that's probably the most realistic trade that we can get. Cam Thomas came back today and stole all of Dinwiddie's shots. I feel bad for Rowe. Yeah, that was probably the inevitable truth of the situation that was bound to happen, I would argue. What do we say? You basically working a job with friends where you travel to different moons with the objective of collecting scrap metal to sell, but the moons got different things that can kill you. Interesting. Never thought I'd see the day. Simon was our best player. He was our most consistent. I mean, Ochai was good too, though. Ochai was good too. Low key, Ochai might have been our best player. Side note. I don't know. I looked up at the screen and I just saw it. Like between Ochai, I liked Colin today. THT wasn't terrible. He also wasn't super effective, but he also only played 19 minutes. So that's part of it. Yeah, I'm gonna give game MVP to Ochai. 36 minutes. I'm pretty sure that's a season high for him too, actually. Um, but you got to meet a certain quota to advance. I like that. I like that. I'm definitely gonna check it out. I'm gonna try and download it. I might have to delete something off mine. I used to play CS:GO too. So yeah, 4 steals for Ochai. Ochai be locking up. Yeah, Ochai is the MVP. We didn't even recognize it, so it's a good thing we did bring that up. C Dog, I appreciate you, boy. Thank you for the super chat. I love it. 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 Oh yeah, the next thing I'm trying to do is obviously I have the Cleveland. I said this last stream, but for anybody that wasn't in last stream, obviously I have the Cleveland Cavaliers one. But since I specialize in jazz content, I have to get the Jazz Colin Sexton one. I think I got the fluorescent, like uh that highlighter yellow. And then I have the mountain, I think it's one of the city edition Larry Markkinen jerseys. Because they were both like 55, 60-ish dollars. So those donations definitely came in clutch. Um Next, I got to figure out what I'm gonna do because I want to eventually move the set so that it can be like a little bit more interesting and like more basketball-y. Right now, like I know it looks homely because I'm just like chilling on the couch like this, but I think it would look homely, but also a little bit more professional, and we could get more people to join us on the channel if I like made it a little bit more dressed up with the setup. You said Saikuno and then just started playing too. Oh, they did? Oh, Christian, yeah. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna lock that one in. That's the one. That's the one, buddy. Yeah, absolute, absolute. Um, I was high on Sexton before this year. He's allergic to passing, which blows my mind. His speed and ability to cut will be an asset, but he has blinders on. The past few games, though, Brandon, wouldn't you agree that he's gotten like he's been more deliberate in what he's doing? I'm not gonna sit here and blow at it out of the water and say he's been terrific, but by and large, his turnover numbers have dipped over the past, I want to say, since after the Bulls game. Whenever we played the Bulls, I don't know if that's 6 or 7 games ago. 7, probably. He's had a couple bad shooting nights, right? But overall, his turnovers haven't been bad. He's been seeing the floor better, and he's been willing to. He's been shown more consecutive plays where he's been mm, like an ideal playmaker. Like he makes the extra pass. It doesn't always turn into an assist for him because guys haven't been hitting their shots, or that guy might hockey assist it to the next guy. But overall, I think that he's shown a lot of improvement compared to like that first 4 to 6-ish game sample size we had of this season. Things were rough because he was not adjusting well to being on the bench in the type of minutes that Hardy was playing him in. And it looked like he was running for his life when he was on the court almost. Um C Dog, yes sir. He said missed the game today over here. Chicks box score. It was rough. Sugar the WNBA. She had Hendricks Price and done for this game. I definitely wish we had done, right? Obviously, we wish we had marketing, and that just goes without saying. But it's gonna take time. This is a very long process for us, but it will look pretty. But as the saying goes, in order to enjoy the harvest, you have to let it storm and rain. And this is our storm and rain. The harvest is coming. It might take us a couple seasons, but the harvest coming. That was hard. That was hard, a couple seasons because there's when you plant seeds in the spring, it takes summer before fall when you pick. I like that. I like that. I like that. But still, there's been little spurts of like really good things here and there, here and there, here and there, which I like to see, right? Particularly this game, obviously, we already said Ochai, 5 of 10 from the field, 3 of 6 from three, 6 total rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals, and only 1 turnover, and only 1 personal foul. So he was not only was he strapping up, but he also didn't have many fouls himself, which was great. Collins checked back in the game late, and he also wasn't terrible. What the heck just happened? Did the stats autocorrect? It's saying now that Collins was 3 of 12. Was he 3 of 12 before? He was 3 of 12 before. He was. Never mind. Yeah. Collins was like the most what's up, Tayton? Yes, sir. Dang, you got back here fast. Never mind. You got back here exactly when you said you would. I just happened to still be talking. Um, and with the daily THT nickname, what you got for us? Like 8 seasons? 8 seasons might be crazy. I'm gonna say in the next 3 years, we are a lock for the playoffs. 3 years, lock for the playoffs. That's what I'd be willing to say. Trailing Horton Tucker has always trailing his defender. Yo, one thing about Tay is he gonna have a nickname for that boy. Always and forever. Boy, I tell you. Boy, I tell you. Might tell you a joke, but he'll never tell you a lie. He gonna stand on business. That's that boy Tatum, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yeah. I love it. Now, you said you have at least 20 nicknames. Yeah, at this point, for sure. Let me see here. What else can we take out of this game? THT wasn't terrible today. When I said he was reasonable, you said 4 seasons per year. Poor but you don't plant the season winter. We're in winter right now. Well, we're in winter slash early spring right now. In the fact that if we're planting seeds and they're really not growing, we're not seeing the little sprouts. Like we're seeing them every now and then, but then they like die. So maybe there's like permafrost on the ground, like talking Arctic tundra type vibes. You know what I'm saying? Or like Russia, maybe. Like we're still in that rough patch because we're having games where we play really good against certain competition and we play really bad against teams we should beat, i.e. Trailblazers, Memphis. Right. Then we play comfortably and things kind of get out of hand. It's like a rocky slope. But to give what's his name some flowers for not being completely cheeks today. Taylor Horton Tucker, 3 of 7 from the field, which works out to 43% from the field. 1 of 3 from 3. I can live with that. 1 rebound, 1 assist, no turnovers, 1 foul. That's reasonable. In 19 minutes off the bench, that is acceptable. That's what I say. That is acceptable for him because overall, the reason why I have to call it a decent game is because he shot better from the field and from 3-point percentage-wise than we did as a team. We shot 38% from the field as a team and 32.5% from the 3-point line as a team. So effectively, he was slightly above both averages. And while the 1 rebound and 1 assist aren't terrific, he also had no turnovers. So anytime he has a turnoverless game, or Jordan Clarkson does, I have to compliment him on that. Even if they shoot terrible from the field, like Jordan Clarkson did the one time when he had 10 assists to 0 turnovers, or 10 assists to 1 turnover. I had to compliment him on those assists. And then I was like, but you shot 25% from the field, so that kind of negates that. But still got to give credit where credit is due to make sure guys don't quit on you emotionally or mentally in the game. Lowry wasn't terrible today, right? 3 of 6 from the field. He did miss both of his threes, but I'm not mad at it yet. I want him to take at least 1 to 2 threes a night, and if they don't fall, they just don't fall, right? He has to be willing to take them though. 1 to 2 from the free throw line, 5 boards, 2 assists actually, a steal, 3 blocks, and 1 turnover, and only 1 personal foul. So he was good in the 26 minutes he played. For sure he's trying, but the whole off season of the Jazz wanting him to pass more, it seemed like he just wasn't getting it. It's good to see him move it more. Yeah, I would say part of the reason why Sexton's numbers don't look better is because guys aren't hitting the shots when he swings the ball. But overall, he is being more open and like blatantly open to making the extra pass. Sometimes it gets negated because the person he's making the extra pass to is Taylor Horton Tucker because they're paired on the floor together and play. They share minutes. But by and large, this Colin Sexton, even in the spurts of play that he's getting here and there, he only played 23 minutes today. He's averaging like 19.9. It might have actually just went up to 20 minutes exactly per game. I like what I'm seeing out of him. He's had a couple, like I said, he's had a poor couple shooting nights, but overall the turnovers haven't been bad, and he's seemed more overall in control. So the only thing I have in my mind is if he played like really like he wasn't terrible at the beginning of the year, but he was like borderline, buddy, you're sitting on the bench, right? Which I guess to a certain extent is terrible. Hold on. Like he was rough, but he's definitely like steady increase in his play right now. And there hasn't been like a couple games, like there hasn't been a stint where I was like, oh, he's he's cheeks, like he's hot, straight hot dog water. There hasn't been a stint of that from him just yet since the beginning of the season, when he really had me questioning, like, is this the Colin Sexton I know and love? Um, oh, you're talking about THT right there. Yeah, I don't think I didn't see that too. Yeah. So if it's fair that the Jazz were all in on Drew Holiday, is starting Keontae plan B, or can they sign a plan A, aka star point guard? So here's the thing. I think it comes down to what their direction is going to be overall as a team. I feel as though ultimately you're better off giving up your pick this year as opposed to next year. You don't want to do next year because it'll actually be worth a little bit more. So you plan on being like a team that's going to give it up. Win games now, end of the season, it is what it is. Roll out the red carpet. Let the guys from the G League that have been busting their behinds in practice and in G League games all season. Hopefully they've improved to the point where they're playable. Even if next season they don't see a significant number of minutes, right? They're going to see the court. So let them go ahead and get a feel for the court now so you can see how much they've improved over that sample size of games. And then from that point, you can work and finagle things as you see fit. I think Dunn is the most ideal point guard in the immediate future for them. If they can't find somebody that's going to be miles ahead, I want Dunn as a starter and Keontae off the bench, so Keontae can still take 8 to 10. Because I feel like Sexton averages like 8-ish shots, 8-9 shots a game, so he can shoot around 10 shots a game, still coming off the bench. He can share the floor with Chris Dunn, right? And still get shots up. And he's going to be within good pacing because when he plays on the court with Chris Dunn's going to control the floor. That means also when Chris Dunn's off the floor, after watching Chris Dunn do it and then playing alongside him on the court while he's doing it, you can emulate that himself. And I think Keontae has that type of motor and processor that will allow him to extrapolate that across the minutes that he does play on his own. And then eventually, once you decide to go ahead and shut it down and say, all right, guys, it's official. We're probably going to lose the rest of our games just so we can go ahead and shovel this pick away and we can worry about next season. It's development time, 100% development time. We don't care about winning. Roll out Keontae, pull up Hendricks, pull up Sensabaugh, let Samanic get some minutes, let Fontecchio burn. There's somebody I'm forgetting right now, but let all the boys burn. Shoot, let Michael Potter come off the bench, let him burn. Let Johnny play, let Johnny get his minutes. You know what I'm saying? The whole 9 yards. But we said if it's Danny's waiting with all his picks to keep trading picks, later year picks. His massive plan is to draft Luka Doncic Jr. Won't be successful until then. I don't know. I got to give him the benefit of the doubt because they did build something special in what's that place called? In Boston. In Boston. My fault. You said losing games would mean we get to keep our pick. Winning more would help us give it away. Yeah, so I was saying right now we need to focus on winning, which would mean we have Keontae on the bench and have what's his name? Have Chris Dunn as a starter. Likewise, put Clarkson on the bench, start Sexton. So we have a more consistent secondary scoring option and we have better defense on the perimeter overall. That would be our most ideal lineup to get you a strong start at a game. If we can't win games with that, we might as well tank anyways, to be quite frank. And at that point, once we win enough games to where we're in like that middle of the pack area to where we're not gonna keep our pick, then we have the time to be able to roll out the other guys and be like, all right, guys, win, lose, or draw, we're cool because we can afford to lose these games and still give that pick away, if that makes sense. No, 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 no. Because it probably tripped somebody else up the way I said it too. So I did need to clarify. Thank you, Tayton. 100%. 100%. Yup. No, I'm with you though. I'm with you though. I'm with you. I'm with you. Yep. But overall, I was about to say not there wasn't a lot to love in this game. There also wasn't a lot of the bad parts were predictable. I'll say that. There wasn't anything new that we learned from this one, right? We just need to control the ball, not make silly mistakes. Because they just barely got to 100 points, right? They were objectively the better team defensively. Defense wins championships. I still fervently believe that. You at least have to have a slightly above average defense, and come playoff time, you have to have a really good overall playoff defense, right? So they gave us all we could handle. And Keontae George definitely learned from this game, I believe. He took 19 shots. A lot of them he realized very quickly playing against Rudy Gobert is completely different from playing against Walker Kessler in practice, because Rudy Gobert will hunt you and he's looking to beat that shot through the backboard. He's trying to send it to the third row. And him realizing just how tall, long, and how much control he has over the paint area, it was a learning experience. He made a lot of mistakes, right? But that 4 of 19 is going to tank his shooting percentage overall. Because obviously most people like that's borderline Clarkson numbers. That's his season high in field goal attempts. But still, I'm comfortable with it. Still, this was a necessary evil. That's what I would say. It is a necessary evil right now that we go through this. Once Dunn comes back, I want Dunn starting so that Dunn can help us push to win games. I believe that his chemistry with Lowry will make the difference. I believe that Sexton starting over Clarkson will be a difference maker because he'll have a table setter in Dunn. He's also going to give more effort than Clarkson is. So at worst, he's going to provide you the same level of defense that Clarkson does. At worst. At best, he's a slight upgrade. Offensively, I don't think you give Colin Sexton 20 shots on any given night and he hits less than 8 of them, realistically. Like I would always bet on the over. I would put money down on it every time. Meanwhile, Clarkson is liable to shoot like 30%, 35%, which if you're going to take as many shots as Larry Markkinen or steal shots from Larry Markkinen, you better hit him. And he's been having a lot of games where he's just not hitting them. You said I still want to see the Marianne's year 7 Olenek George Dunn lineup. Marketing, yeah, marketing. Year 7 Olenek George Dunn. Yeah, I do want to see that one. And that's definitely feasible for them to run. Strongly believe that lineup could be one of the most successful, worth a try. 5 guys are all scoring threats. Yep. Hmm. Yeah, no, I'm definitely with you on that one. But I finished my little yap session. I had to knock out right there. Um, Anything you guys wanted to chat about real quick? I didn't have anything particularly crazy to share with you, lovely gentlemen. But yeah. Wait, where's my editor at? Brother. Sachi. There we go. Let me see. Olynyk makes around 46% of his threes now. Yep. He always takes a calm like 2 to 3 a game, and more often than not, he hits at least two of them. If he shoots two, he's at least going 1 for 2. If he shoots three of them, he's probably gonna go 1 for 3, 2 for 3. So it's always a calm little bag he gonna put together. Nothing too insane, which is always commendable. Oh, where's oh, that's why. Let's see. You think what do you think the money line for Jazz versus Blazers will be? Honestly, I don't know. I'd love to say. Well, we're at home. I think we got one. If we're at home, I think we have that one. Because on the road, we're 1-9 now. Shout out to the Grizzlies. But we're like the rest of our wins have come from at home. So we're like what 3-5 at home, or 1-10 now actually on the road because of this game. But 3-5 at home. So I trust us to knock that one out actually by 8 points. I'll say 8. We got it by 8. Unfortunately, they can't start done until they trade Sexton and THT, the NBA priority contracts in minutes. That's true, which is why THT has to go. I would switch Sexton to a shooting guard. Like I said, I don't think Sexton is Sexton is not a point guard. He's a undersized shooting guard. If you imagine Colin Sexton's bag and somebody that's 6'5", that's a bucket. A super athletic. Like at that point, not only is he downhill driving, but at that point he's also dunking consistently. So instead of like getting downhill and jumping and just like doing a little herky jerk in the air with the ball and like getting fouled, he's gonna try and boom on somebody like he's John Morant for real. Not every time, but more often than not. Though we have a Grizzlies on the back too. Yeah, but the Grizzlies one was on the road. And we are really bad on the road. You already know what I'm about to say. I know, Incognito. He said, I'm not super confident in the Blazers for the Blazers game. I say I have to be super confident because we're at home. If we lose that game at home the same way we just lost on the road to them, I might cry myself to sleep that night. I might have to. Sexton needs to start hard. He keeps every player instead of him. Clarkson needs to see the bench. Sexton needs to see the start. Plain and simple like that. We'll go ahead and give THC the opportunity to play somewhere else. I think, well, the Heat are winning games, so they might not want him, but other people might want it. But, it's just whoever's up for whatever. You dig? Whoever's up for whatever. A 6'5" Sexton would be a top 30 player in the NBA. He would be tough. But then again, imagine if Kyrie was like 6'5", 6'6". To me, I don't think this is crazy to say, but I would say that that Kyrie probably bag for bag, he has the deepest offensive bag out of anybody in NBA history. I'm not having that conversation with anybody. Yeah, 1-10 is like, I want to cry. It's ugly to look at. I would say take Kyrie's bag and put it in anybody's body, they can hoop. You put Kyrie's bag in Kemba Walker's body, bucket still. Put it in Kevin Durant's body, bucket still. Put it in somebody's 6'6" body, put it in Karis LeVert, put it in LeBron James, put it in anybody, bucket still. You know what I'm saying? Can't really say that with Kevin Durant's bag. People are like, Kevin Durant's the most skilled offensive player. I'm like, bro, he's literally not. He has the same hang crossover, and that's cool. But the thing is, if you take Kevin Durant's bag and put it in Kyrie's body, he's getting worked. Like he's not going to be trash, right? He's not going to be trash, but he's definitely not going to give you 20, a consistent 20. He's not, right? He's not going to. He's not even. Is he a starting? He's a starting point guard still. He's a starting point guard. I'm not going to disrespect Kevin Durant's bag like that. He's a starting point guard, but he's not like that for real. That's the ultimate thing. Just need the opportunity. Don't think height has anything to do with it. Hardy is a downfall of this team. Hardy just needs time to cook. Just as much as Keontae George has earned has been put in a position, and we're not mad that he shoots 4 of 19 in a night, whereas we would be if Jordan Clarkson did the same thing. Will Hardy's in that same position. Because if Will Hardy was like a tenured coach and he had been in the league as a head coach for like 7, 8, 10, 15 years, I would be grilling him. I would be grilling him, but I don't grill him because he's a sophomore coach. He's still learning the game at the same time as being a coach and trying to force these guys to win, right? So he has a lot of stuff he has to go over. There's a lot of people he has to appease in the front office. There's a lot of coaches he has to meld the minds of, and he has to decide the identity for himself as a head coach as well as the identity for the team. So I give him grace because of that. Now, if I see the same exact thing next year and the year after, we might be having send this guy home. Yeah, I might be making one of those videos. If I ever make a hit piece on on Hardy, just know I've reached my wit's end. I can't do it anymore. I said because he's done enough research on the guys he has. Fair. Okay, I can see that. I can see that. I can respect that. Not to reward players for playing well. Agreed. Agreed. And that's why I was irritated the one time when Colin Sexton was the reason we got double overtime, and yet we didn't play him at all in double overtime. That was disrespectful because it's like that would literally be like you went to work and got a paycheck, and then your brother-in-law took your paycheck, cashed it, and used your money. Bro, it's my money. The money wouldn't be here if I didn't go to work. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. You said Durant has never added anything to his game. I agree with you, C Dog, 100%. I would say you said that's Hardy is prone to mistakes just like all the players are. And so I give him a certain level of grace. It does cut it at a certain point because, like, in that game, that double overtime game, I was pissed because you had these boys playing their hearts out and they were going to get clapped the next game because we were going to play the Lakers eventually, right? And so if we're going to be tired after a double overtime game, we better win. We have to. There's no other option to it. And we lost. And not only did we lose, but we didn't lose because of Colin Sexton. If Colin Sexton is the reason that he put you in, if Colin Sexton put you in the position to win that game, he should also have the right to be the reason you lose the game. Other people shouldn't be the reason why you lose the game while he has nothing to say about it. Similarly, if Lowry was the one to hit the shot to go into double overtime, Lowry should be the reason why the team lives and dies. If not, then we did something wrong. In that game, he did something wrong. He made a poor coaching decision the entire second of the overtimes, right? And I stand on that. Take any other dudes up there and give them our roster. 28 or 30 of them will do worse. I would say 26. 26. I can't think of because I think of Pop might do a little better. Spoltra would do a little better. Kerr would not do better. I don't care what anybody got to say about that. Timberwolves coach because he values defense. Is Thibodeau still in New York? If Thibodeau's still in New York, give me Thibodeau because he values defense. Yeah, but by and large, I still do agree with you. Don't get it twisted. I'm not sitting here saying anybody can do this job. Nobody would have went 10-3 with that roster we had last year. That 10-3 roster was good, bro. Yeah, no one else could have went 10-3 with it. I like Abaji. Yeah, for sure. But Clarkson is out. Perfect time to see what a George Sexton may look like. Yeah, for sure. Things he hasn't tried. Opportunities for a couple games now. Yeah, I need him to mix it up just a little bit more. Give everybody some minutes. Give me film on every lineup humanly possible at this point. Because the other coach would have started Lowry at the 4. Hardy unlocks players potential. Lowry at the 4. Was it crazy to me to think that Lowry could really play the 2? Is that insane to say? Like, there's going to be no ball movement from him because he's not a playmaker, but just a thought. If we could go big and put Abaji on the floor, let me think. So at point guard, I guess we would have to run Dunn. So Dunn, Markkanen, Abaji, Collins Kessler, or Olynyk Kessler, right? Because Kessler has to be on the floor. Collins off the bench. So yeah, that 5. Dunn, Lowry, Abaji, Olynyk, Walker. That would be some good length. That would be some great length. I don't know how great that lineup would actually look on. It sounds good in my head, but obviously in practice, I don't know how great that would actually be. Um, Imagine we still had Vando, Malik, Conley. Vando would be like the biggest piece. That would be like a big difference maker for us. Oh yeah, he pissed me off not keeping him in because the issue he's done consistently put Sexton been on the Jazz, pulling him when he's gotten hot. Yeah, either Vando or Olynyk would have been benched. That lineup wouldn't have existed because Lowry wouldn't be three, and therefore you wouldn't have three big guys. Fair. Kerr played Triple J at the five. You think Kerr would have let Lowry play three? No way. Oh yeah, no. I said Steve Kerr would not have done better with this roster. I'm a Steve Kerr hater. He just built on what Mark Jackson already built. Mark Jackson built the foundation of the house, and he said, "I'm gonna add windows and LED lights. Look what I did to this house." Like, bro, the house was already built. You just made adjustments. Be for real. Be so for real. You know, favorite pissed when we traded him. Yeah, yeah. The issue would be Vando's spacing, though. I think Kessler struggling with Collins on the court. Yeah, tonight Kessler was in the corners for these two positions. I remember Collins trade coupled with science THT created. Collins trade coupled with the signings of THT. Yeah, almost bought his jersey. Hey, it would have been limited edition, that's for sure. I love buying players' old jerseys. Maybe that's crazy of me to do. For sure, for sure. Mm-hmm. See Kerr overrated big time. Yeah, he's just benefited by the players that he has on his roster. Let's see. If you want to see more objective sample of Kerr's coaching, watch Team USA this past FIBA. Exactly. Hardy has been inconsistent with his messages and his actions. Yeah. Yeah, there's been a lot going on. But if my mindset is if you're going to try a lot of things, try everything. That's the way to solve the problem. If you're going to try a lot of things, try everything. Because he's not trying some things, he's trying a lot of things, but he's not trying everything. Let's try everything so we can say that was my plan all along. And beyond that, we'll keep going. That Kerr has no idea how to play big man. Yeah, but we knew that to begin with. We knew that was the case. Couldn't even get a medal at the FIBA. Shoot, we did lose the bronze game. That's nasty work. Yeah, yeah. Kessler would have really been valuable in those minutes. And if you play Kessler, I don't think that they lose like that. But we did. Why? Because we didn't play a traditional five. We played a guy that can't rebound at the five. He averages freaking 4 rebounds. Jaren Jackson Jr. is not a rebounder. Why would we put him at the five? That actually that took me to a whole different place. I didn't mean to get there. My fault, y'all. But no, that absolutely floored me because I was like, bro, why would you play him there? He doesn't do that. That's not his bag. That's not what he does. So stop it, please. It pissed me off so much. But yeah, that's just my little 2 cents on it. You dig? Heal at pass and play defense. Oh, Clarkson out there. Wait, hold on. Hill pass play defense. Oh, Clarkson out there. Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. It took me a second. My fault. It just took me a second. I promise I'm not slow. I just need a minute. But yeah, we're vibing. We're vibing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, for the most part, mm, we've we've covered all our bases, I'd say, or at least all the stuff that we really needed to touch on. For beyond that, it's just a little bit of work here and there. Kessler needs a gun playmaker. It's actually crippling his development not having a natural playmaker on the court with him. Yeah, yeah. I think Dunn would properly utilize him. If Dunn can't do it, then we have to make a trade because at that point we're in trouble. And the ceiling of the team will actually be realized. But yeah. No. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. Sexton's good, but he's not great, TBH. I think a lot of the mistakes this year have been from him. It's not like he's shooting lights out this season. You think a lot of the mistakes? I wouldn't say a lot. I would definitely say some. I'm not going to sit here and exonerate him from blame, right? But I would definitely say Jordan Clarkson has cost us more than anybody on this team. Good night, gents. C-Dog, yeah. We're on the same page here because I got an early morning tomorrow, brother. He said C-Dog, which is why. All right, feeding the big man a few games. He came back from injury. Definitely. But we had a productive stream. We had a very productive stream, pretty productive night. Things weren't the most amazing out here, but we did our thing, I would say. Yeah. I think we can all agree on that. Any closing remarks, gentlemen, before I close this out? Well, if not, then we have that closing moment. Thank you guys for tuning into live, making it interesting, making it live, pun intended, as we always tend to do for the games at halftime, after the games, having the post-game chat, all that good stuff. It's been enjoyable. Obviously, the back end of the back and back of a back-to-back, it wasn't as enjoyable as we hoped it would have been, but there will be time for success later on down the road. With that being said, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't, become a member if you haven't, so you can get the videos faster than anybody else on the channel. And with that being said, with all hearts and minds clear, good morning, good evening, good night, no matter where you are on the globe watching. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.